Service was held today in Cirencester to remember the Spitfire pilot Joy Lofthouse, who flew planes for the Air Transport Auxiliary in World War II. She died last year after a remarkable life at the age of 94.
Well, Joy was one of a group of pioneering women who delivered planes to airfields across the country during the war. Our Gloucestershire reporter, Steve Nibbs, joined her family at today's event.
To all who knew her, Joy Lofthouse was an inspiration.
Well, we'll let you get on.
We learned today that her story touched the hearts of everyone she met. As a pilot, Joy was just one of 166 women in the ATA, but on being called a pioneer, she just said, well, she was just one of huge numbers of women doing their bit for the war.
Women were doing everything, you know. All women did something. And there were some who sat for 6 years putting little screws on something, on an assembly line, and no one said well done to them, you know, but they were giving just as much to the war effort as we did.
I was proud of the fact that she visited schools.
After the war, Joy became a teacher and carried on well into her 80s. As a gifted storyteller over the last decade or so, she became more in demand for interviews about her time in the sky, with plenty of VIP invites along the way, and always a willingness to help.
She loved it. She was humble, but actually she loved being a VIP, let's face it. You know, in the later days, when somebody invited her to an air show or something, and they'd say, well, we'll send a car, and she'd say, well, can't you send a plane, please? We get there quicker.
Joy flew many single-seater aircraft as an Atta girl, but one remained her favourite, the Spitfire.
Quite the most incredible thing, you know. We were only 3 years away from the Battle of Britain, and the fact that you'd flown it, that was your real aim in joining, to be able to fly a Spitfire.
And today, in her honour, a flypast from that iconic aircraft. The enduring spirit of the Spitfire mirroring the memories of all who knew her.
She considered all the things that she did flying-wise as just what she had to do. There were no airs or graces about her. You knew that she'd flown a Spitfire, but she never made a big song and dance of it. And I think that's what's more inspirational than anything else.
Last night on BBC One, Joy featured in a programme looking at the history of the RAF with Ewan McGregor. And she reflected on the freedom that being a pilot gave her.
Best thing to having wings yourself, you know.
Yeah.
You might just as well have wings. You're up there. Nobody can tell you what to do or where to go.
So reflections today of a humble pioneer, the Spitfire girl from Gloucestershire, who inspired generations to follow their dreams with her motto, I can, I must, I will. Steve Nibbs, BBC Points West, Cirencester.
What an extraordinary person. I wish I'd met her.
She'll always be a VIP for us.